Welcome to Windchime Storytime.
I'm David.
And I'm Reese.
Today we are reading the Wishing Well stories, Enchandream Wood, and the story of Sparkle the Fairy of Hope by Liana Wall.
Let's discover Enchandream Wood, a magical land of fairies. There is a land where magic is the power of all creation. There is a land in which every flower that blooms, every leaf that grows on the trees, and every creature that lives in this wondrous mystical realm have all begun with the power of magic. The stories you are about to read come from an enchanted forest, where all the magic of the world begins. This is a land where no human has ever set foot. It is a dreamlike haven hidden away from mankind. It is a place where you have to believe in magic in order to find it. This land is called Enchandream Wood. Deep in the willow trees, beyond the River of Wonders, lives a kingdom of fairies. These fairies are not your usual type of fairies. No, these fairies are created to hold the keys to all the happiness, inspiration, love, support, and comfort for humankind. Here in Enchandream lives the most beautiful queen of all the fairies. Her name is Selina. Selina is the most magical fairy of them all. She is kind, thoughtful, and has exceptional powers to help the humans in the other world. Selina has 5 daughters who each gained one of Selina's magical powers. These powers are unique and special to each fairy and chosen by Selina. These powers help, guide, and encourage others. Selina gave her daughters these magical powers to keep with them forever, and so that they can use their special gifts in times of need. Many people often wonder about the fairies and the creatures that live deep in the hidden places of Enchandream Wood. Many have tried to find them, and many think that they have seen them. The legend and the tales of Selina and the creatures in Enchandream remain a mystery to all mankind. Yet, dear reader, know this wonderful thought. When the sun shines or the rain falls, when the stars light up the sky, when you are feeling happy with love, or have a dream inside of you, this is the powerful work of the fairies and the magic that they possess. They have created and sent this just for you. Queen Selina's firstborn fairy princess is called Sparkle, and this is where our story begins.
The story of Sparkle, the Fairy of Hope.
It was a summer evening. The sky was glowing with a warm, shimmering sunset. The forest and the creatures of Enchandream were waiting in anticipation for the arrival of the first fairy princess. As the sun slowly began to set, filling the sky with gleaming orange light, the queen of the fairies, Selina, was so delighted that she would soon be welcoming to Enchandream the first princess of the fairy kingdom. As the sun glimmered its last ray of light, Selina looked up to the night sky to see all the stars beginning to fill the darkness one by one, like thousands of diamonds. With joy and contentment, Selina looked at the baby fairy in her arms and said to her,
"The stars are shining extra bright tonight. I shall name you Sparkle. You have given me a feeling of positivity, confidence that our kingdom will continue to grow, and so I grant you the power of hope."
That very moment, a shooting star flew across the night sky with the most beautiful, dazzling trail of light. The other animals and creatures in the kingdom saw this up above and stared in amazement. Then they knew that the first fairy princess, Sparkle, had arrived. Over time, as Sparkle began to grow, she showed herself to be a very cheerful fairy. She enjoyed watching and listening to all the nature around her. Sparkle was also a very thoughtful fairy. She always wanted to guide and encourage others, especially if they felt sad. She liked to look after her friends and those around her. But what Sparkle loved the most in Enchandream were the lavender flowers in the flower garden that the gnomes looked after for the forest. The gnomes were very good gardeners and wore red and blue pointed hats. They worked very hard at night when all others were sleeping to make sure Enchandream looked radiant and full of color every day. Sparkle loved the color of the lavender so much that she wanted to wear everything purple and to smell just like lavender too. It was very calming and relaxing scent for her little nose, and it helped her sleep so peacefully. Sparkle liked this very much. The gnomes always made sure more lavender seeds were planted every night just for Sparkle. As Sparkle was the very first princess born into the kingdom, Queen Selina gave her her very own ladybird called Dottie, who was a tiny new ladybird in the kingdom of Enchandream. Dottie had big eyes and loved to smile. Dottie also had 5 lucky spots on her back and was a very bouncy, giggly ladybird. Dottie was new to flying too and had to learn not to get overexcited and fly into things in the forest. When she accidentally flew into trees and branches, this made Sparkle laugh very much. However, she always told Dottie to keep trying, you will get there soon. And this made Dottie feel so much better every time. She enjoyed being best friends with Sparkle. Sparkle and Dottie went on many adventures together in Enchandream Wood. They would spend all their time together. They made colorful necklaces out of flower petals and stems, river boats out of fallen leaves when they loved to watch float down the river of wonders. And they also made their own friendship houses out of twigs and vines from the oak trees. Sparkle always completed every task she did. She never gave up no matter how tricky making something was, or how hard it could be to put something together. She knew it would all work out in the end, and it always did. She loved being a fairy, and all the wonders Enchandream Wood offered her. One silent night in Enchandream, the forest suddenly came over very dark. A cold, unnerving mist began to draw in and creep into the woods. Icicles started to appear on all the green trees and leaves, and the flowers began to freeze up and turn into ice blue frost. All the creatures began to shake with a sudden chill in their little mushroom beds. They all cuddled up so very tight to keep warm, not knowing what was happening to the forest and why it was suddenly so ice cold. Selina woke up shivering. She took Sparkle and wrapped her tightly in her wings, wanting to keep her warm and safe. "What is happening?" said Sparkle in a concerned tone of voice.
I think the cold has struck Enchandream Wood, Sparkle,
said Selina.
The humans must be having a lot of unhappy thoughts at the moment. They are not very joyful in their world. Their sadness is coming to us. That is why it is cold here.
"How can we help the humans?" asked Sparkle. "How can we change these unhappy thoughts?"
By using the power, Sparkle,
said Selina.
Hope is the power the humans need right now so that the cold will disappear.
Power? What is that? Said Sparkle. Then swiftly Selina stood up and raised her fairy wings. They opened up and glowed with all the colors of the rainbow. She started to sing sweetly the magical spell of hope.
Hope is something special we need. Selina is here for you. Look forward to things, be positive, that all will soon come true. Hope is found within your heart and also in your mind. Keep believing, keep it strong, and happiness you shall find.
As Selina sang these words, her colorful wings started to fade. Yet Enchandream was still getting colder and darker. Selina looked down at the floor in confusion as to why her song had not worked. "What is wrong, Mother?" said Sparkle worriedly. Selina looked up into Sparkle's enchanting blue eyes and touched both her cheeks with the palm of her hands, and a gentle smile appeared on her face.
"It is your time now, Sparkle,"
said Selina softly, gazing into Sparkle's eyes.
"You must help me using your fairy power."
"Me?" said Sparkle in astonishment. "Can I?" she said. "Okay, I am sure I can do this. I must be able to." Sparkle then stood up tall, head held high, thinking all happy and wonderful thoughts for her and her fairy kingdom. Sparkle was ready in her mind to make this magic spell work for her mother. Sparkle spread her little purple wings. They started to glisten, and she sang the song of hope all on her own. "Hope is something special we need. Sparkle is here for you. Look forward to things, be positive, that all will soon come true. Hope is found within your heart and also in your mind. Keep believing, keep it strong, and happiness you shall find." Then, suddenly, all at once, the ice and frost started to slowly melt away. The blue leaves and flowers started to return to their emerald green color, and the sun slowly appeared through the dark clouds. The ice and frost flowed into the River of Wonders and away from Enchandream Wood. "I did it!" exclaimed Sparkles. "With hope, I believed I could do it." Selina and Sparkle held each other close. The kingdom rejoiced, and all the creatures were so delighted that the fairy princess had made their forest a warm, shining, and enchanting place once again. Selina knew her daughter had the first magical power gift that she granted for her, and she would make a fine leader for the rest of her fairy kingdom. Whoever and whatever should be next for Enchandream and their fairy family, Sparkle now had the power of hope to guide her and to believe in. Thanks for listening to Wind Chime Storytime.
Have a pleasant day.
And the next adventure's on the way.
Bye.
Bye.